What I'm about to describe to you is actually a pretty powerful thing. In fact, it's so powerful that I just want to make sure that you use it for a good reason. What I'm going to actually talk about are concrete steps that you can take, along with very clear descriptions of how it works. And I'll cap it off with actual examples of me doing it. The most recent being this one. I mean, the reason why you're even watching this video is because I manifested to some degree that I would actually have a breakthrough in YouTube and increase my audience, which is the only reason why the algorithm has pushed this video to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing this. And I'll talk about that at the end when I recap everything. Now, the first thing you got to realize is that this reality, all this around us, is simply simulation, or if you want to call it the matrix. It's basically a bunch of things running within the confines of laws, physics, of both the big and subatomic universe. And all of that is just manifested within your head. Your brain, your mind takes in all of this data, this input, and creates the reality that we call consciousness and life. And when we say that we manifest reality, what we're saying actually is that we're altering the way, the engine through which the data coming in from this matrix is coming into our bodies and into our brains, the way we process that, and the reality that we manifest, the ability to alter that. And that's really what manifesting reality means. It's not, I'm going to manifest myself into, flying in the air tomorrow, like in the movie The Matrix. No, that's not what I'm talking about. So when you understand that definition of manifesting reality, what you'll begin to see is that by altering the way that you think, your mindset, the perspectives that you have on reality, you will be able to actually see reality in a different way. And so it breaks down into three things, right? If you're completely into something and that's all you're thinking about when you go to sleep, when you wake up, when you're taking a shower, when you're taking a dump, this one thing is just occupying your brain, your mind is so focused on that, you will begin to actually see things that you didn't see before because your mind is subconsciously so focused into it. And that could be anything. It could be numbers, it could be people, it could be objects like cars in the road, whatever it is, you'll be able to see things that you weren't able to see before, and then have the vision to connect them together in some form or fashion where there's some strategy or play at hand that you can take action on. So that's the first step, is manifesting the vision, right? Being able to see. And it's not just things happening in real time. It could be things that have happened in the past that you are connecting the dots to. But it's really, yes, the connecting of the dots, the vision that you will begin to develop by changing and altering the perspective of the reality that you're manifesting. And so, it's not like, you've probably heard of, if you see 1111 a lot, that means the sign of the gods are, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you'll begin to notice certain things, perhaps 1111 more oftenly, because your mind is so focused, it's hyper-focused on something that you'll begin to see things because there's so much going on around you. There's no way to take in everything all at the same time. Your mind has to process and take away certain things and throw away other things and process a few things. And it's those few things that you actually see, quote unquote, that makes a difference. Now, the second thing you have to do after the first step, which is the vision, the second step is having the courage. And this is, once you're able to see and have vision about something, you're going to have the courage to actually take the leap and go for it. Because it's scary. Because you're used to comfort and the way things currently are. And it might not be great, but it's not bad enough for you to take the leap and take the risk. You have to have the courage to take the leap, to go for it, to be brave enough to fail, and in turn learn. If you don't have that courage and bravery, and that's very different from foolishness, bravery and foolishness, there's a fine line that distinguishes the two. But if you have the bravery and the courage to act on the vision, and you use your focused interest on whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, you will go for it. So that's the second hurdle that you have to cross, is the fear factor and being able to go for it. So the third thing that you're going to have to confront is the perseverance part. You'll have to persevere through very difficult times. And if you don't have the wherewithal and the willpower to follow through and not give up when the going gets tough, then you're just not going to make it, right? So having the passion and the willpower, which is generated by you manifesting this new reality or some outcome within your head, is going to give you the fuel to just power on through, even though the going gets tough. And the going will get tough, rather, guaranteed. And it's up to you to make sure that you don't quit and give up on the first sign of turbulence or rough waters in the sea. So these are the three things when it comes to manifesting a reality eventually that you're going to have to go through. And if you practice these three things, and the first part is the most important, is knowing what you want with clarity and with enough detail that it's not broad enough, that you're able to just live it. Like, that's literally all you're thinking about, right? And if you get to that level of desire for something to be achieved, it will trigger these three steps. Now, I'll tell you, the most recent thing I was able to manifest is actually my activities on YouTube. And I don't know if any of you have actually tried to create a YouTube channel, but it's freaking difficult. And I've done startups in the past, and I'll tell you, this thing is just as difficult, I would say, or psychologically even more difficult than startups, because when you spend a lot of time and effort to create a video and there's like 10 views, I mean, it literally is a soul crushing feeling, and you just don't want to do it anymore. And that's what I was feeling. I started this about half a year ago, and about sometime in at the beginning of fourth month, 3 months afterwards, I was feeling pretty down because I wasn't getting the traction I had hoped for. And so I started doing the manifesting thing. And the first thing was just to project myself into the future where it was a successful thing and things were going great, and to have that vibe and feeling within me so that I could start to turn things around in the way I looked at things, so that I could have the vision. And that was like towards the end of March, beginning of April that I did that. I even recorded a short clip at that point in time to tell my future self, when I look back at that clip in the future, that, hey, I felt that this thing was going to be good and good things were going to happen. So I'm just taking this moment in so that in the future, after it happens, and I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, remember that day, that afternoon, I went to the parking lot for a little walk and kind of felt that things were going to happen in a good way before it happened. So this is my message to myself on the future. Today is what? March 10, 2024. Peace, future say. And sure enough, a little over 3 months later I was able to power through and become a YouTube partner and get, over 1,000 subscribers and have over 4,000 watch hours, which is not an easy thing to do in 6 months on YouTube, starting from zero, right? But it all happened after I did that flip and started manifesting success in reality. And it gave me the vision. It showed me what to look for and what things to try and change in my videos. And I didn't give up, right? And so all those three steps, right? Having, the vision, having the courage to try and do different things, even though it felt freaking awkward, and then to just persevere and not give up, added up to the event where, the videos started growing, and I ended up getting enough views and subscribers to become a YouTube partner. And I don't plan to monetize. The whole point of just saying this is it was a goal that I had set because I knew only like 2% or something can attain it. And if you can, that means you're doing something right. And I set that up and manifested that to become a reality. And I have many, many other examples of this, but I just wanted to share the most recent one so you could see for yourself how I'm practicing what I'm preaching and how it gets me to places along the journey to the ultimate destiny I'm heading to. If you're going to try and manifest anything, it won't work unless you're internally aligned. And what that means is that there's no deviations between the way you think and what you want to be doing and the way you behave. What I mean by that? A simple example would be if you're doing something that you hate, meaning maybe you hate smoking cigarettes, but you keep doing it and you're a slave to the cigarette. If you find yourself in that kind of a situation, you need to clear that up first, because no amount of manifestation attempts is going to bring forth the reality. There's too much distraction and misalignment internally for you to actually have that clairvoyant focus that is 110% needed if you're going to actually attempt to manifest anything. Now you're probably wondering, well, what the heck else did I manifest in my life, and why you should even listen to me? Do I have other examples? And I do. If I just look at my career, I was always the oddball out. I wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't supposed to be able to get any of the jobs I got in my past. Or if you even look at my startup career, we weren't able or supposed to be able to disrupt a $1 trillion company with just 5 people. So how was I able to achieve these things? Like, how was I able to get into a company like McKinsey & Company without an MBA or a graduate degree? I mean, try doing that and get to a leadership position in the company. How was I able to get a internet engineering job at one of the largest institutional asset managers without a computer science degree, never taking a computer course in a classroom in my entire life? How was I able to create a sustainability movement of over 1,000 professionals around the world when I never even held any sustainability or environmental position in my life? How was I able to be a director in a health tech and biotech company without holding a PhD? Everybody else in the company at that level has a PhD, and that's the case for all the companies that we interact with at that level. How was I able to do that? The list goes on and on. I'm the oddball out in every case, including this case. Like, how's a 50-year-old trying to do a YouTube video? Who knows? It's still in progress, right? But my point is, I've got many examples. I'm not trying to tell you I've done so many things in my life. The key is that I've done things where I wasn't supposed to be able to have done those, be able to have, succeeded in those things. Not that the things I did were so great and holy. No, they're just whatever, jobs, decent jobs here and there. But it wasn't supposed to be for me because I didn't fit the mold of the right type of person who would get and be able to do those things. And that's what I mean by being able to apply the manifestation that I discuss in this video to yourself. And it allows you to do things that, really shouldn't occur. And allows you to be that oddball out, but somehow you made it in. And it is through the techniques and methods that I discussed that I was able to do that in my life. Heck, it's not just my career where I was able to manifest things. I mean, even in my personal life, I'll give you an example. In my previous marriage, the way that I proposed to my ex-wife, she was watching this show on TV, on national TV, on HGTV channel called Perfect Proposal, and it was about how guys would propose to their fiancés to get married, and she kept watching that in lunchtime and kept throwing hints at me. And so at that point, I was like, look, I'm going to actually propose to her on her favorite TV show. And I manifested it, right? Like, I really focused and thought through it. I did I did the submission, and I put it together in a way that I thought it would work. And guess what? I proposed to her on that TV show. And I mean, she had no idea, and she was completely blown away. But that's just an example of how manifestation can work in all aspects of your life. It's not just career or your personal life. It's literally anything. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to manifest that I'm going to have a new girlfriend or a new wife. That's not, I mean, that is maybe the end game and the end result from doing the steps that I described, but it's not like, going to materialize like that. It actually requires you to act, put in the effort, and do things in a certain way. And it's just a matter of time for you to sift through this matrix or reality for that reality, that manifestation, to actually materialize. So thanks for watching on this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.